So, a little while ago, I was thumbing through my big box of old books that I haven't been reading. I was looking for something completely different, something that's not a book, and I came across a bunch of old books that I read like some odd years ago when I was younger, and started me on this little mini rant in my head, and I decided I should get this on film. Not that anybody else is going to care but me. My Resident Evil books. I first came upon these mostly just by sight. I was just walking through one of the random bookstores that I was at. I think I had a gift card for Christmas. And I found these. And I thought, oh, cool. I'm a fan of Resident Evil. And I'll check these out. And there are 6 different books. Many of them all delve into the stories of the games. And then there are some, like Caliban Cove, that tell their own story, that just feature characters from the game, and even new characters that you'd never even heard of. And they're really good books. They're very good. You know, they have very good characters, they have very good action, and they're very faithful to the games, but not only that, like, for instance, you'll probably find this in a lot of the books, particularly in the first one. Not only that it, just tells, the story of the game from beginning to end, but it tells you the stories through perspectives of the different characters. So not only is it, just Chris and Jill that you're relieving, that you're being told the story through, but you'll get Chris, you'll get Jill, you'll get Barry's story, and then you'll even get Wesker's story. It's pretty cool. And they're told very well. And I really enjoyed them. I don't know if there are more books available now, with the series being, re-released and being continued now. If they are, I do hope they're being done by the same author. Probably not. I hope they're good, but mostly, this didn't really start into a Resident Evil kind of rant or ramble in my head. It started off mostly as a Capcom ramble and rant. Because if anybody's been paying attention to a lot of the news that's been coming out about Capcom lately, and I'm sure you have if you're a gamer like I am, you're probably pissed off at a lot of what Capcom has been doing and what they've been deciding to do with their games and how they seem to be treating their fans and their customers like we're a bunch of idiots and we don't deserve shit. I'll say this started with me mostly around Resident Evil 5. That was a game I didn't really like very much. I didn't... For one, I didn't like how your AI companion completely sucked, and that she constantly got in your way. I do like the idea that you could control her with a second player. That's great if you have a friend that can play her. I'm at the point now in my life where all of my friends, all of my really good friends, either they're completely out of state, or, they have their own lives and responsibilities and don't exactly have time to just hang out with you and play a stupid game that they probably have no interest in wanting to play in the first place. So that's out. And then there was the item box shrinkage that really pissed me off, in that you can only carry 6 or 9 items at a time. I believe I made it partway through that game until finally I just got annoyed and quit. Resident Evil 4 I loved. Probably the best game, and probably the game that really, brought Resident Evil back to the forefront. And I saw the trailer for Resident Evil 6, and I thought it was stupid. Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City. Originally when I saw trailers for, I did have a little bit of interest in it, but then after all the reviews and Let's Plays and people's opinions of it, saying that the teammate control is shitty, the gameplay is shitty, that apparently they borrowed a lot of their game mechanics from other games and just did it very poorly. That's pretty disappointing. I may still rent it, maybe, but I'm not playing games that much anymore. I've become more of a collector as it's gone on. But where it really hit and really made me start to go, oh, Capcom, you suck, was Marvel vs. Capcom 3. A game that was just very disappointing to me, mostly because, and I know this is going to sound stupid for an argument, but I remember specifically when they were talking about this at E3, that they were talking about, oh, well, we remember, a lot of fans being really disappointed about the fact that Marvel vs. Capcom 2, there was no story. Well, for Marvel vs. Capcom 2, for Marvel vs. Capcom 3, I mean, there's going to be a really big story. And there wasn't. Unless you read the little booklet that came with the game, then you got your story. But, doing that's what old Nintendo and Super Nintendo games did when they had to tell their story, was they told it in the book. Because, well, that was the old days. That was the only way you could tell a story. And mostly, people, kids primarily, when we played games, we didn't give a shit about the story. We just wanted to be entertained by the gameplay. This is 2012. Story matters now in a game. And the fact that there's really no story in the game makes the endings pointless, stupid, and utterly confusing, particularly when you have no idea what the hell's going on with certain characters. And then I'm sure it just pissed people off even more when they released Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 as its own game. That made me even happier that I didn't buy that piece of shit. I may still buy Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 because, well, I am a Ghost Rider fan and Firebrand looks cool. But I'm not buying it for $60. Maybe I'll wait till it drops either to $20 or either $15. Maybe then I'll buy it, but not for $60. Well, actually, no, that's not true. It's not going for. It wasn't going for $60 when it first came out. It was going for $50, but still, fuck you, Capcom. And now this whole thing with Street Fighter Cross Tekken. The whole thing about when it was released for the 360 that there were characters locked on the disc and that you'd have to pay an additional $20 to unlock those characters even after you just paid $60 for it. That is some major bullshit. I don't know if it's true or not. If it is, then it's bullshit. I actually didn't even have any interest in the game to begin with because, well, I've never been a Tekken fan. I never actually played the games, but I was never a Tekken fan. And I didn't like a lot of the character designs that they chose for this, particularly for Mega Man, how they went with the old first game cover art character, and how he has a beer belly and he's fat, and that's just stupid. I mean, why would you do that to the character that, helped make your company what it is? I mean, why? But, really, the last Capcom game I played that I really enjoyed was Asura's Wrath. A game I didn't expect to like, because when I first saw the trailer and checked out the demo for it, the first thing I said was, this reminds me of Devil May Cry in terms of cheese. Because a lot of the story and a lot of the dialogue really reminded me of Devil May Cry, because, wow, was that cheesy. But then I rented the actual game and I played it, and I really began to enjoy it. I thought the story was actually pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty much an interactive anime, but it is a different style of gameplay. There are a lot of points in the game where you can control the character and do whatever you want, but I thought this was done very well. Now, did I buy it? No. Mostly because I couldn't afford it at the time, or at least in my head I couldn't afford it. But I would definitely recommend it. Rent it, check it out. You know, if you want to buy it, you know, buy it. But yeah. Is Capcom going to continue this trend of pissing off their fans and their customers? That's kind of what it's looking like. I don't know. I mean, it seems to come off more and more and more that Capcom doesn't give a fuck about what you think, particularly fans and customers, with how they continue to keep on running, how they want to keep doing their business. So, who knows? I mean, either try and send them a message by waiting for their games to severely drop in price and then buy them, or boycott them altogether. You know, I mean, do what you want to do. I'm going to do what I want. You know, I'll continue to rent games that spark my interest. If I like them enough, I'll buy them. If I love them, maybe I'll buy them right away, but that hasn't happened for a while. I mean, the last time I bought a game that I thought I was going to love, that was Skyrim. And I do like Skyrim, but I bought it on the PS3, and apparently PS3 version has some problems. So, I suppose I should have bought it for 360, but too late. Besides, the game's still technically going for full price, and I don't feel like spending another $60 for a game I already own on another system, but we're not going to get into that. So, there's my Capcom rant. If you have any interest in it all, check out the books. These are actually pretty damn good. They're very well written, and they're a lot of fun. As for Capcom, who knows? Just have to keep paying attention to the gamer news. See you guys.